Morning all, how are we doing? Ready for another fun day? So yesterday basically banked 0.7%, not a bad day yesterday. Nothing so far today, everything's just sideways at the minute, so just waiting for some movement on everything basically. We've had the news this morning for retail sales, came out as expected, pretty much within a 0.1 percentile, so not really any shift in the pound. We've got Euro news this morning at 9, which is the business climate, which doesn't really tend to do an awful lot. It's worth watching the DAX around that time, but doesn't really affect anything else much. We got Lowe speaking this afternoon along with Bullard, and then we've got Michigan sentiment this afternoon as well. So Michigan sentiment sometimes will move the US, but it's not amazing. So bit of a light news day today. We did have a fairly flat day across the board yesterday with a lot of stuff, so we should get some movement I think, but there's no catalyst, so it'll probably just go at the open really. Morning Peter, morning Jesse. So yeah, nothing to write home about today news wise. Just a quick glance at next week. We've not really got a lot of news next week. We got GDP figures and a few bits and pieces and PMIs, but nothing really to write home about. Main thing is going to be PCE, for US dollar, which is right at the end of the week. So yeah, a bit of a rubbish week next week. Overnight, not a lot. That's the retail sales this morning. Yeah, just not a lot really. CPI for Japan came out as expected. So there was no shift there at all. That could have potentially moved the yen, but didn't really do anything. And that's it. So yeah, not a lot really newsworthy at all to write home about at the moment. Morning Evil, morning Doreen. So basically positions I've basically got on exactly what I had yesterday because we haven't gone anywhere. So Aussie New Zealand, just sitting basically waiting for some movement. Where's my pen gone? So looking for support basically to get that bounce started. Obviously we're very bullish Aussie New Zealand. We've got a weak Aussie at the moment. New Zealand's had a little bit of a spurt of minor power, nothing particularly to write home about, but this is the area that I'm interested in not breaking, which is ADR today. So if we do get any push down today, as long as it's not breaking ADR, not really too worried about it. The 72 supporting at the moment. We've just not got any strength or movement in the Aussie, and there's no catalyst really to drive it either. So yeah, so nothing particularly exciting happened there yesterday. Euro US dollar, I've got a short on at the moment. Again, looking for 24 to hold up, looking for this resistance. We're just range bound at the minute, so just waiting for something to move the market. As you see, we're flat, have been flat for days. So we had an accumulation, we came out, we pushed back down, we pushed back up, we pushed back down, we're back to basically where we started. So there's just no movement at all at the minute. It's summer trading conditions. So yeah, just looking for the US to wake up basically. Pound odd, again, didn't go anywhere yesterday, so that's the position I got on. Not gone anywhere, just sitting sideways. And US dollar yen. So US dollar yen, we got some push down against me yesterday. I've taken a couple of extra positions on this one. The EA got me into one, and I took one down at the lows. Really, the yen's a bit odd at the minute. We got that little bit of strength off of the yen, which is pushing down at the moment. it's only a sort of, I think, a temporary pullback on all the yen pairs at the minute. There's no real massive weakness in the yen, and there's no real strength either. So I think this is just kind of going slightly back to normal price action at the minute. Everything's a little bit weak at the minute. It's just the market's just slow. The stock market's fast, but this is all just a bit slow at the minute. So just sitting there waiting for stuff to move. But we'll have a look at all the FX pairs in a minute. There's no ADRs so far today, so nothing to write home about there at all. Jesse, this morning the volume ADR is quite low across everything. Lots of sideways price action. Yeah, it's very slow at the minute. We're coming in into summer trading. Some people think it's already started, but it does get very quiet during the summer. News, really. You hang around a lot waiting for news. They're not particularly my most profitable months, the summer months. Indices, DAX made new lows yesterday off the back of the euro or the euro news. New low broken, new leg down. That 3-bar reversal held beautifully. I don't know if anybody traded the DAX short yesterday, but it's a lovely move. It went straight out the gates yesterday and dropped. So all good on the DAX if anybody traded that one. We got the drop, pullback, drop. So it's a lovely textbook sort of day yesterday. This morning we've pushed up from where we closed. We're on our way back down there now. I don't know if anybody's playing the gap fill, but the gap fill was a lovely one this morning. Really easy textbook, just straight down. It seems like it's probably going to go and fill it at the open, which is great. German indices, US indices. It looked, Powell blew the whole session yesterday. The whole US session yesterday was awful. People got chopped to pieces yesterday. I didn't. I made loads of money yesterday because I didn't trade it. But yeah, the whole open was choppy and horrible with Powell talking basically. It looked like we were going to dump, and then it just pulled it all back. So yesterday, basically, we made progress, but it was a very choppy, horrible move. Nothing particularly exciting. So we are pushing back up. The Nasdaq's done the gap fill this morning. So now that's done. This is what I said yesterday in the group. Now that gap fill is done, it's opened up all of that downside momentum and space. So that was the thing that was kind of holding it back at the minute, was that, gaps all, it's very, very rare for a weekend gap not to get filled. Now that's done, and we're pulling back into the 24. At any moment we could get that dump in. So if we see any momentum moves starting on the US indices, those are probably the ones to take, and those are probably the ones that we're going to get the new lows put in from. So at the moment we were holding in this control candle here. We are still holding in this control candle until this daily candle closes back above. That's where we are. So this candle here basically is what I'd be looking at for a break. So at the moment we've just tapped outside of it. If we close back down inside today, that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, be our 6th inside day. As soon as we get a break of that, the next day, if it's a bearish engulfing, that's what tends to trigger the move. So it's either going to just pop its head above and liquidate anybody that is short long term and go, or we'll get a break above and then a close below. If it continues to push up, obviously that's all invalid, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, looking good. And the S&P as well, we're still inside at the minute, doing the same thing. We had that nice reversal. We didn't get the reversal. That's why I was looking for that down day yesterday. I was looking for a 3-bar reversal to form. with the push up, the doji and the drop, but didn't get it. It's exactly what we had on the DAX, basically, was what I was looking for. This. But yeah, didn't get it. So all doing the same thing. We've pushed up this morning in the Globex session so far and are rejecting off of the highs. So DAX is coming down very hard at the minute. So yeah, shorts I think at the moment on the US indices. Haven't got the crickets open. Just pop them up. So just going to watch what's going on. Selling off harder at the open. So the market's just opened 3 minutes ago. What's the gap? Gap somewhere around there. Pretty much, it's pretty much done the gap. Virtually, so. Morning ladder. Right, so there's US indices covered. See which way we're going at the open. So, we'll have a quick whiz through all the FX pairs this morning, see if there's any new opportunities to get into any more positions. I'm pretty exposed at the moment across all currencies. I've got basically everything on at the moment. Apart from some Swissy, I haven't got any Swissy on at the minute. I don't really want any until that thing's decided what it's going to do. Longs on the Aussie, longs on the US, and short on everything else at the moment. That's the main thing that's sort of holding me back at the moment. The Aussie's just kind of been, sort of doing that ever so slowly, and just sort of grinding into drawdown, but not really going anywhere. Euro US dollar, as I say, has been sideways all week. Pound odd obviously is the Aussie, and the US yen is not doing anything either. So just sitting there waiting at the minute for something to move. Nasdaq also just closed the weekend gap. Yeah, that's what I just said. I just said that. That's why I've got that line there. So all done on that side. S&P hasn't though. So S&P, the gap is miles away. Still. So this is the kind of fly in the ointment at the moment, the US indices. You've got divergence with the DAX ready for a drop and the S&P not ready for a drop. So it's who's going to be in charge basically. The S&P's obviously got way more power because it's got multiple sectors in it. And it's got 500 stocks, whereas the Nasdaq's only tech and it's only got 100, which is why the Nasdaq moves a lot faster than the S&P, which is why most people tend to trade the S&P. But it's whether or not, that's going to take a hell of a daily move to get there and retrace it, which I don't think is going to happen. So, morning, Brendan. Yeah, so the DAX, the DAX gap fill I was talking about was the daily gap. So that's the gap. The gap fill on the DAX is just been filled. Oops. Excuse me. Drink. So ADRs today, nothing so far. No overnight movement in Asia. Fairly tight ranges across the board in Asia today. Even the yen's, just no real movement across anything as such. Weeklies, we covered all these yesterday. It's all the same weeklies. So Aussie dollar CAD. God's sake. Aussie dollar CAD is playing off the bottom. Euro New Zealand playing off the top. The pound New Zealand come off the top but gone sideways. and then the New Zealand CAD and the New Zealand Swiss. The New Zealand Swiss basically is still absolutely piling down. New Zealand dollar CAD is all over the place, but New Zealand dollar Swiss is the main one, which you've got the option of that pullback. We got the reversal alert, but all we've done this week is sit there and accumulate. So I'd be very wary of the Swiss franc at the minute. Swiss franc is very, very, very strong. So not really interested in trying to mean revert that at the minute. Some bullish moves coming in across the board at the moment on the indices. Obviously there's your opening range, so not too not too big today, not too small. Fairly normal from an opening range. So your gap would be somewhere around, what are we on, 5-minute chart? Somewhere around there. Yeah, so it's probably done the gap fill if you look at a chart that doesn't have all the broker time. If not, I mean, you've lovely play to the downside that was this morning. Right. So weeklies is nothing much to talk about. Monthlies not really worth looking at. We are at the end of the month. We've got a week left, so I mean there's a lot extended, but we know it's all Swissy and it's all yen because that's what's moved this month. RSI's on the hourly, not surprisingly, completely flat because we had a sideways day yesterday, so nothing's actually done any big moves. Therefore, we've got no RSI extensions. 4 hourlies, same thing. Flat. It's been a flat week, as you can see. After the initial moves, we've done nothing this week. There's a few dailies which are worth looking at. Aussie dollar Swiss, obviously massive. Well, you say they're worth looking at. They're only worth looking at if you're interested in mean reverting the Swiss franc, because that's all they are. But I'm not particularly interested in mean reverting the Swiss franc at the minute, until it shows some signs of strength. We have got a little bit of movement starting, but whether or not that's going to hold or whether it's just going to accumulate, difficult to tell. But very, very, very extended on the Aussie Swiss. So dropping down to lower time frames like the hourly, you've had the reversal alert. So if you're trading the daily, you want to be trading the hourly entries. You've had the reversal alert. It's just starting. You didn't get reversal alert yesterday on this, so it was a sustained push down. Depending on your broker, you either did or didn't have a reversal alert there, because that candle, can't really see it unless I zoom in. Previous day. So the higher this candle here. Can't really draw it. Let's move a line down. Where are we? That one there. So that would have been, actually, you wouldn't have got it because that candle pushed up. So you wouldn't have got a reversal alert there. So this is the first reversal alert, basically the overnight Asian push we've had all week on this Aussie Swiss. So this could well be it today. Hopefully it's the Aussie strength rather than Swiss franc weakness. That's what I'm after. But equally, it could be Swiss franc just weakening. But it has been weakening gradually all week, so it's very difficult to know whether or not this is a decent opportunity. Last time we got a pullback, it was a couple of days, and then we just dropped. So it just flagged and broke. So hard one. I'm just not interested really at the moment personally in longing anything against the Swissy, because the Swissy, that news on the Swiss franc rates was so unexpected and it really took the market by surprise. So we had a big obviously reaction to it, and I'm not sure whether or not the Swissy's actually going to weaken, whether it's going to become the new safe haven. There was talk last month about the Swiss franc potentially becoming the new safe haven currency. Now the yen is kicked to the sidelines because it's screwed. If that is happening and now the rates change have got the market more interested in that thing could just grind and squeeze, and I don't want to get stuck the wrong side of a squeeze on the Swiss franc, especially with everything else being so weak. Whatever you trade against it at the moment, it's weak. Everything's weak, isn't it? So if you happen to be getting the wrong side of the only currency that's going to get strength over the next month or so, you're in big trouble. So I'm just wary. It's good, as I said all week, it's good for the stop loss positions. So, you know, this is retesting at the moment. That's the official retest. The first retest was there, but it's retested again, and it's currently still retesting this reversal, which again is not a good sign, is it? The retest didn't hold. The second retest didn't hold. We're retesting again. There are no buyers. So it should be sending you signals that it's possibly not the best trade to be getting into. But if you do want to take a mean reversion on it, use a stop. And you're going to get stopped out on it, or it's going to run. But these are the sorts of trades. I don't condone break-evens because they stop you out. So if you get into a trade there and it moves up to there, if you put your break-even stop in place and you move your stop up to there, it's going to take you out before it goes on its next leg, because that's what the market does. So every time you move to break-even, you've got a very, very, very high probability of being broken even, haven't you? Because market structure dictates that you will get a pullback, and it's usually to where you entered, because you usually enter on a break. So but with the Swissy, if you get positive movement, this is kind of a situation where I probably would, because I would rather be broke even stopped than dumped. So but yeah, so you can try them. Aussie Swiss, Swiss yen. The Swiss yen's probably the one I would say has got the most chance of putting in a bit of a pullback, because the yen's had a little bit of strength showing, but I don't think necessarily it's going to be a sustained move by the yen. But that's a textbook retest. But if you took the retest, obviously you only got in there, you haven't gone anywhere yet. So you're better taking trades in the retest, really. But so yeah, Swiss yen is an opportunity for a short, and obviously pound Swiss for a long. But long in the pound at the moment is, I think, a little bit brave. Pound Swiss and New Zealand Swiss look exactly the same. I'll take one or the other. Again, both weak. So there's nothing there to look at on the RSI extensions, unless you're interested in Swiss francs, which we looked at the mean reversion on this one, didn't we? And I said, if there's a 50-50 shot, it's either going to do it or it's not, and it didn't. But the risk reward was there. So bit of bearish movement on the indices. So you completely reversed, 1 bar pullback, and Nasdaq, I would imagine, doing very much the same. Nasdaq's got a doji in place, but DAX is really not happy at the minute, completely falling out of bed. Right, so anybody got any pairs they want to look at? Anybody in drawdown on anything they're interested in having a look at? Let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to whiz through everything. I don't think there's going to be much to look at, to be honest, because obviously we haven't had a lot of movement this week. So what I said on Monday and Tuesday, and I think I did a pretty fast overview yesterday, didn't I? Is pretty much the same, isn't it? So we're just sitting waiting for everything to happen. Aussie CAD is obviously a short at the moment based on CAD strength. Would like to see a break back up to 24 and pull back down. So at the moment we're putting in potentially a reversal. We double topped, but we did make a new low. So the fact that we've made a higher low potentially at the moment would indicate that sort of movement. But oil's come down. Let's have a quick look at oil actually while we're discussing CAD. Yeah, so oil's still coming sort of sat sideways on it at the moment, but we lost $18 a barrel on oil. $17, $18 on oil over the last sort of couple of weeks. Hence, obviously, the Canadian dollar's got slightly weak. So we're looking for next leg up on oil. It's been holding structure very nicely for the last sort of month. We've been, just grinding. We are now excess stock on oil. So hence oil price come down, excess stock, same demand equals lower prices, higher demand, higher prices, etc. It's usual, just normal supply and demand stuff. So I would expect this to start to push, which means we will see the Canadian dollar gradually grind along with it. So that would indicate, obviously, a new leg down. So what I'm expecting to happen here is this double top to hold and the market structure to be bearish, i.e. putting in a new low. So it's whether or not we're going to get a pullback to give us some kind of an entry option. You could just try and jump in short on it right now and then scale in on the move down. Aussie dollar at the moment is very weak, so we're just waiting for that again. Jeff, New Zealand dollar Swiss, yeah, we'll have a look at that. So yeah, Aussie dollar CAD looking for shorts. Aussie dollar Swiss, we'll do the New Zealands after the Aussies because they're pretty much the same thing. Aussie dollar Swiss, again, I've covered the Swiss franc in detail this week. After that rate announcement, I'm not looking to mean revert until I get some indication of strength holding and I see something happening, i.e. the market going, all right, we've done the move on the Swissy, now we'll wait for the pullback and drop. So I want to see some signs of a pullback starting. At the moment, all we've had is an accumulation. So I'm not interested in anything Swiss franc related. Aussie New Zealand, I'm long. Again, New Zealand dollars doing slightly better than the Aussie for a change. So yeah, I'm waiting. So looking for longs on Aussie New Zealand. We're holding support at the moment, and as I said, I'm looking for this area to hold. This is the low there. So as long as that doesn't break, I'm not overly worried, and I will get in again down here at this double bottom, and then obviously you have to hang it out a bit. But it's 69 ADR this pair, slow. So it's just one of those ones you just have to wait. It's a grindy pair, I know that. I'm just waiting for the grind to start. Aussie yen pushing down. Obviously Aussie weakness you can see, and slight yen strength, little bit, not a lot. So this one, obviously we've got new potential structure starting to form to the downside. So this is the key area on the Aussie yen. When we get back down to this sort of level, I'll be looking for some kind of price action reaction down here. If we get that, that's probably where I'd like to start taking a long. We could well just be accumulating at these lows. So from a support resistance area, this is somewhere we've been interested in, not particularly cleanly, but recently this is definitely support. So we're tapping down into this again. From a short-term perspective, if you want to get into a trade with a stop, this is a pretty good level. You can see this is a very, very strong area. We've tried to push through it, we've closed there. We've tried to push through it, we've closed there. We've tried to push through it, we've closed there. If we don't break it this time, I think it's going to hold. So from a lower time frame perspective, we've had the reversal alert on this yesterday. That's your entry, there's your stop. If you get into it right now, at these Asian lows, literally right now, it's worth a shot, that, isn't it? Really. I think that's worth a go. I'm just going to get in now. So stop down below yesterday's low. It's 30 pip stop. This is obviously not really that confident on it, so not going to go for a massive reward on it. But it's a 3-to-1 risk reward. That is worth a shot, I think, because this is a very, very strong level. I've given it a decent amount of wiggle room. Yeah, it could come down and stop out, but this, I think, this is because we've had the third touch on it with support resistance. If something respects it 3 times, it's strong. Yeah, if you break it, if you hit it a 4th time, that's the charm. That's when it goes. If you try and support something 3 times, if it comes back again, then the sellers have a run at it. It's gone. It's going to go. So it's either going to go or it's not. If it doesn't go, we've got a decent amount of movement potentially on there, haven't we? In fact, I might even just go. Well, I mean, that's the ultimate, isn't it? We get the yen weakness start, and we get this Aussie dollar strength that we've been waiting for the last week. So there's a good chance of getting a very decent risk reward trade out of that. Highly unlikely I'll hold it to there because I never hold anything that long. But if we get a push up to there, that's one I wouldn't mind doing a break even stop on, because that would be your proper support hold. So it's likely the buyers will start to come in and the sellers will all puke, adding to the buys, and we'll get some fast movement on it. Either that or it's going to fail and it's going to stop out. But it's a good looking trade, that Aussie US, same thing. We're waiting for Aussie dollar. We're waiting for Aussie dollar strength, but we've got a potential strong US coming. So I'm looking shorts, pullbacks, but at the moment this thing's just a sideways mess. So there's not really an entry on it. It's kind of grinding below the 24. But again, it's the same thing as a lot of pairs at the moment. There's just no movement. We're not going anywhere, so no real opportunities on strength to get into anything on it. So we're going to cover the New Zealand's. New Zealand CAD, good looking short opportunity. Lovely bearish engulfing going on the 4 hour. You just had an M15 reversal alert on that, and a retest. Good looking short opportunity. New Zealand CAD. Tempted. I got rid of my CAD, didn't I? Got rid of my Euro CAD yesterday. I quite like that as a short. We've just had a reversal alert on it, so what I might do, stick the EA on that. What are we up to? 11 and 12. So 0.3. We just had the reversal on M15 and M5 virtually retested. So okay, sell stop under the low. So if this obviously runs away and this reversal alert's going to get invalidated, I'm not getting in. God, that's a hell of a spread, isn't it? New Zealand dollar's awful. So I'll give that. What is the spread on that? 50. Yeah, that'll do. So entry there. If this reversal holds, I'll get in short New Zealand CAD. Pound odd. I'll have a look at that in a sec as well. Morning, Alan. How's the COVID? Yeah. Excuse me. That wasn't planned, that cough. Yeah, it's better. I've got this cough. This won't go away. I'm much better. I've been back to spinning this week. So first couple of days I was really out of breath, but yesterday I was fine. So getting better. So there's your New Zealand CAD. So New Zealand Swiss, which is what Jeff wanted to look at. I'm in for the sell, about 30 pips negative. Yeah, I mean, you're obviously, if you're selling this, you're chasing it because the sell was up here. So if you're 30 odd pips negative on this, where you are now, you've basically sold the very lows at the deepest extension. New Zealand Swiss is a short because of the bias on the Swiss franc. If you're, I mean, the play on this for me is the mean reversion. It's either going to mean revert or it's going to go down. But if you're in short on it, if you're position trading this and you've got in there, that's, I don't know why you would do that, but if you're shorting it from here, you need to be looking at where we're likely to come back to. So we're either going to retest that area there where you want to take a second position, or we're going to come back up into here, which is going to be the 24.72 zone by the time we get to this resistance, for an entry short there. It may well just go. If it goes, that's fine, but you are very, very, very extended and miles away from the moving averages. When you got in, you're about as extended as you can. Remember, if you've done the Boocamp, the elastic band theory, the further you stretch that elastic band, the faster the ping back from the elastic band tends to be. We are really, really stretched. We're really extended, we're really stretched. The safer play is the mean reversion. Either way, you're quite possibly going to go into chop and possibly a flag for a breakdown. But if you've taken a break, which it seems you've done at the lows there, breakout trades are the worst things to do. Which is why the reverse alert indicator is there, because the reverse alert indicator is giving you a pullback and showing signs of weakness. A breakout, 90% of breakouts fail. They're what we call head fakes. Yeah, so you can see this is a head fake. There's the head, there's the fake. Stop runs, they're called as well, obviously. But New Zealand Swiss, it'll either go or it won't. And this is what I say, the Swiss franc, I don't know on the Swiss franc at the moment which way the Swiss franc is going to go. Whether they're going to continue this strength, and if they are, you're fine. If they're not going to continue this strength, it's down to the New Zealand dollar. Because the Swissy gets transacted through, the Swiss National Bank gets transacted through constantly. It's one of the biggest players in the banking sector. For large volume transactions, which is why we get the Swissy do that. Because this is just dumps of large orders that need to be executed by the banks. So you're reliant on New Zealand dollar strength basically to pull this back up, which we're not getting at the moment. So, don't know. Well, what's going on with my pen? Yeah, difficult one. Really difficult on that one, Jeff. It's impossible to tell what's going on with it at the moment, isn't it? We're literally in an accumulation, and as soon as the accumulation breaks, it's going to go, but I don't know which way. I'll be off on that one. New Zealand dollar yen looking for a bounce off of New Zealand dollar potential strength, not a lot of, but mainly yen weakness. And New Zealand dollar, US dollar looking for shorts, waiting for the US dollar to power up, which isn't happening, hence being sideways. So again, all these look very, very similar, don't they? Aussie and New Zealand, always make sure you're taking one or the other, not both really if you can, because obviously they're very, very closely correlated, which is why the Aussie dollar New Zealand has got such a small ADR and is very, very grindy, because they tend to move in tandem. SU, I'm in drawdown on the pound odd. Average price is 1.7650. Oh, Jeff, you said you're trading off the daily chart. Yeah, I mean, look historically, Jeff. Measure the moves is what I would say. This move on the New Zealand dollar Swiss down is 265 pips. This move on the New Zealand dollar down was 314. This move on the New Zealand dollar down was 260. This one was 200 odd. And then look what happened after each of these big moves. Accumulation, drop, pop. That's what you're going to get. You're either going to get that or you're going to get that. Either way, this is what I'm saying about mean reversion, you are massively extended. The last thing you do is take a sell when the RSI is down here. That's what the RSI is telling you. We've had too much selling. Likelihood is RSI is going to tick up, which means bullish price action. So selling right the way down there is brave, and it could well just play out. But I think if it does play out, yeah, if you look at where we are here, from here, if we're going to do this now, here for ages and wait for the 24 to come down, yeah, which is what's happened there, push price back down, you're going to get another leg down, and that's going to be your exit. But you could be sitting here for 2 weeks waiting for that. Mean reversion tends to happen a lot faster. But, you know, this is the thing. We don't know. No one knows what's going to happen. There's three things that can happen. You can accumulate, you can push, or you can drop. I have no idea what it's going to do now. This is why I'm not trading the Swissy, because I just don't know. After a fundamental shift like that, you need to wait for the market to decide, are we bullish or bearish on the Swissy? I just don't know. It's a very difficult one. Anyone using reversal alerts on M1, M15 setup? Don't know. M1's just the worst time frame. You're just trading chop. You just go to a casino, honestly. Pound odd. Right, so let's whiz through these. So we've covered the Aussies, we've covered the New Zealands, we'll cover the pounds next because somebody's interested in the pounds. I don't mean that horribly about the 1 minute chart, but I don't know anybody that makes money on 1 minute charts, scalping or otherwise. Apart from people that trade volatility index, they always seem to be killing it, and every screenshot is them trading 1 minute and making fortunes. Go figure. I don't actually know anybody that makes money off of volatility 75 either, but it's just chop 1 minute. Unless you're scalping for like a couple of ticks, then yeah, I mean, but then I don't trade 1 minute charts, I trade price action, I trade order book, which is faster than 1 minute, it's live. So I don't really think you can trade it. But. And also the spreads will kill you in Forex. You need to be trading futures, that sort of time frame, I think. M1 is good with reversal alert indicator for scalping. Yeah, I mean, it is, if you can do it, great. It's just hard work. If you're going to trade 1 minute, if you're going to try and scalp 1 minute charts, I think you're better off trading futures. At least in futures, you can make a couple of grand a day. You're not going to make a couple of grand M1 scalping Forex. It's just not. You haven't got the. You're not going to have the account size to do it. And the spreads will kill you. You can only trade majors. You can. I mean, look at New Zealand US on 1 minute. You can't scalp that. Look at the spread. If I go long now, I'm getting in there. This thing's got to move all the way up to there before you even get to break even. By that time, it's ready to pull back. Tightest spreads you get are Euro US. Yeah. Look at the spread on Euro US. Indices, if you want to go M1, yeah, DAX is the tightest thing you will find. This is why everybody scalps indices, not Forex. You can't scalp Forex. It's just the spread will kill you. Even with a raw feed like this, you get murdered. Right, pounds. Sorry, I'm drifting all over the place as usual. Pound odd, 176.50 on 76.50. So you're in about there with an average. You're not far off me. There's my average. So you're pretty much the same as my average. Yeah, so pound odd, we're waiting for one or the other at the moment. Pound, we had the big move off of the rate announcement. To be fair, my spreads seem really bad. Yeah, I mean, the Robo Forex at the moment, their spreads are really wide. I don't know why. I've noticed it this week. I think it's probably liquidity. We've got light liquidity at the moment. We're going into summer trading, and light liquidity is a problem. The spreads do get wider because basically the way the brokers work is they're obviously feeding out to a pool, and that pool will come back with a spread, and then they will give you a spread based on the pool. If the pool spread is wide, you're going to get wide spreads in your broker. Anyway, I'm not interested in scalping 1 minute charts. No one in the world ever makes money at it. Don't do it. If you can, prove me wrong. I've never met anybody in 13 years that's done it. So just, I don't do it. I don't really want to talk about it. Pound odd. Yeah, so we're looking basically for some pound shorts. Basically, we're heading up into this chop. This is the area when I took this position initially. This is the area I said if we do break out of here, this is where we're going to start to meet some selling. We're approaching the top of this zone now, up here. So that's where I'm expecting to see some sellers start to come in. Somewhere up here, we're going to find longer term traders in here that will have shorted, trying to add to their position to push this back down again. The pound is weak. Yes, we've had interest rate rises, which tends to be good for currency, but everything else against the pound is going against the pound basically. Everything else fundamentally is not good for it. So it's a case of basically we're grinding up against the Aussie because the Aussie is very weak at the moment and the pound is managing to get a little bit of a foothold against it. I still feel this is a big short. We're hovering up here around the RSI and just waiting for a catalyst. The catalysts that I was expecting for the pound haven't happened. We just haven't had it. We had, as expected, retail. So we just had no catalyst. So we're looking for a catalyst fundamentally to start the move. But yeah, that's nothing. There's no drawdown at the minute. If we start getting up to this area, then I'll start to think about doing some aggressive drawdown control to start controlling some of this drawdown. But at the moment, I'm just waiting. I don't think it's a problem. Pound CADs. Can I check my euro odd? What for? Are you talking about M1 spreads? Three points. These are wide at the moment, aren't they? 2 points on Euro US dollar, that's huge. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why the spreads are so wide on Robo at the moment. Something going on. Maybe I've dropped onto their B book. I don't know. I don't really bother about spread, to be honest, because I'm trading H4, so it doesn't really affect me. Sorry, let's go back to pound. So pound odd. Yeah, looking for a drop on that one. Pound CAD, again, same thing. Oil, we've got a slight decrease in oil. Therefore, the Canadian dollar has been weak, which has given the pound an opportunity to push, and obviously it pushed off the rates. But we are just flagging. We have made really good market structure. Potentially, this is a new lower high here. So it's poised, ready. We're getting a little bit of strength basically because we've got a little bit of CAD weakness. So again, waiting game on this one. It's in exactly the right spot for shorts. So nice looking short opportunity there on the pound, and if it does push up back into these highs around the 72, that'd be a good spot for second entries. Pound Swiss is exactly the same as all the other Swissies. It's either going to mean revert back up into resistance up there somewhere, which would be the 24 coming down on top, or we are just going to get an accumulation and next leg down on it. I don't think the pound is going to have the strength to get back up there, but who knows. So this is the kind of trade where you can sort of stick sell stops underneath the lows on 4-hour candles, and if it continues to grind, just trail it until it doesn't, and when it doesn't, you're just going to get gathered up into it, which obviously sometimes the reversal alerts happen so fast. By the time you've got the reversal alert, you've missed a lot of the move. So trailing up underneath it quite often will get you in faster, but obviously you can get spiked into positions, which means you're getting in too early before you've got a confirmation of a reversal starting. So, but pound Swiss, very difficult to trade at the moment. Pound yen, looking for longs, only on yen weakness. This is not a good one, as I say. This is the weakest out of this, and the euro have been much weaker against the yen than everything else. So this is going to struggle more than other currencies like the CAD yen and the Swiss yen. Pound New Zealand is sideways mess. Pound US, we're waiting for US dollar strength. Hence, we're not going anywhere. So we'd be looking for short opportunities on it, but get in when you like. You can get in and get out of it basically at the moment. While we're waiting, you can get in and get out and get in and get out and just sort of scalp 20 pips out of it or something. But waiting for US dollar to strengthen up. So covered New Zealand, covered pound, covered the Aussies. So the CADs basically, CAD Swiss is the same as everything else. Very difficult to know. Fundamentally, we have got a very good looking support area which we are approaching at the moment, but support resistance against fundamentals doesn't necessarily mean anything. I think we'll continue down if the Swiss franc is going to power up, but at the moment there's no real evidence either way with the Swissy. And obviously the CAD is long, so you've fundamentally got two potentially long currencies, which equals difficult trading conditions. So when the oil increases, the CAD will push. If the Swiss franc isn't more powerful, then obviously this will push down. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? But that is the case at the moment with this one. It's going to struggle because you've got a strong currency pushing down, and you've got something which is potentially just going to grind, which is what the CAD does a lot of the time. So difficult one, this one. I'd be interested in getting in if we were extended at support. So confluence, building your case. We've got support resistance area, and we've got an RSI extension, and we've got a reversal alert. There's 3 reasons to go long. At the moment, there's not really that many reasons to go long here. So I'd be waiting. But obviously this thing could drop substantially as well. And CAD yen, looking for longs. So I took the long on this one obviously this week, as you can see. Got out nicely on that one. Again, we're pulling back into an area of interest. This is a nice 50% pullback at the moment on that push. So we're looking for long opportunities here as well. We've just double bottomed on this. This is quite actually interesting again. So we've just taken the liquidity from yesterday's low. So reversal at M15 might be a nice little entry long on that. I've got too much yen on. That was the yen. So yeah, I've done it again, haven't I? Missed overexposure. This one's got a stop loss on it, so I'm not really bothered. But yeah, CAD yen looks good. Nice entry, long here. So it's a lovely. If you stick a fib on that, it's a 50% retracement. So looking good. 24 holding. You might need to get into a second position down at double bottom potentially, but looking good. CAD yen. Can I look at the US 30? Can we scalp in the gap direction? Well, it's not really going anywhere at the moment, but yeah, you can try. That's a bit of an open question, Yespin. You can do what you like. When you're scalping, I can get in long and short 20 times a day and be 100% correct. Scalping doesn't matter, does it? The direction much. It's price action. It's volume. It's this thing goes green, go long. This thing goes red, go short. It's all about momentum scalping. So I showed yesterday the average time in trade. If you're in the Telegram group, I showed my P&L and average time in trade scalping, which is like, you know, crazy fast, basically. Yeah. So look, this is me scalping yesterday on the last couple of days on the ES. Yeah. Sell, buy, sell, 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 buy, sell, 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 buy, sell, sell. It doesn't matter which direction. Do what you like. If you're scalping, you're in, you're out. Average trade time is seconds. Minute. If a trade lasts a long time, I'm in it for 5 minutes. A really bad trade, 7 minutes. Doesn't matter what you're doing when you're trading, when you're scalping. Yes, you want to stay in line with trend direction, ideally, but how you pick your trend and where you're going is difficult. At the moment, it's a long. So yeah, I'll be looking for longs. But if you're scalping purely with the view that we're going to come up into the gap fill, you're scalping on a tiny time frame on what is potentially 372 over an ADR's move. Within that move there, if it's going to do it, you're going to get hundreds of swings. Look at the swings this morning on the ES. Yeah. This is a 1 minute chart of the ES this morning. Shorts, longs, shorts, longs. Doesn't matter, scalping. Just get in with the momentum. Totally different way of trading. Sorry, where was I? Right. But yeah, yes, there's a good chance it's going to gap fill. Jesse, are those your... Yeah, they are my trades, yeah. I've been indices scalping in the afternoons. Sorry, where was I? CAD yen. Where did we get to? Yeah. CADs. So I've covered the CADs. looking for longs. It's a good looking long opportunity. I'm overexposed on the yen, so I can't take any at the moment. But that's a nice looking little long. If you wanted to take a stop on that, there's a very tight entry when we get the 15-minute reversal alert today, with a very big upside, at least to a double top. So you've got loads of room. I'd get out ADR actually on it if we did, but nice looking long opportunity there. Again, we've got no news at the minute and everything seems a little bit sideways, so you might not get any movement. Swiss yen, very difficult to take a short on this. It is rolling over. We have had a 4-hour reversal alert, but the 4-hour reversal alert obviously is off the back of a massive fundamental shift. So whether we're going to get the pullback or whether we're going to get the accumulation is very difficult to tell. So it's a risky one to take short. One or two things happens with these moving averages on the daily. You either get a strong push, a pullback, a strong push, a pullback, which is obviously what we deem as normal market structure, or you get a strong push and an accumulation where it waits for the 24 moving average to catch the accumulation, which promotes the next leg up. So we're either going to do something like that, wait for this to get up there before the next leg starts, or we're going to pull back. And this is where, you know, people say market reversal alerts fail often. Yes, mainly because you go into accumulation, and it's really just stop hunts and liquidity runs basically happening as you're accumulating, waiting for the moving average to catch up. So hard one at the moment to call. Yen should be weak, therefore we should be going long. Swissy we know is a fundamental long now, so don't really want to be shorting this, but it hasn't pulled back far enough really for me to want to be interested in taking a long either. If we were to get back down to this sort of area here, I'd be more interested in longs. By then we should have a good catch up on the 24. So yeah, interesting to see what happens. Jesse, you should live trade sometimes when you scalp. I have done loads of live trading, live scalping. 2 months pretty much in the live room I've been doing it. Futures, yeah, I can yeah. The trouble with futures is I can't get my futures platform on my screen. It doesn't fit because it's across 3 monitors, and it's basically ladders. I can show you. I can kind of sort of show you. That's basically what I'm looking at. You can't really see it all, but this is what I look at when I'm scalping. And I've got multiple ladders. I've got 4 ladders on the screen. I've got 2 charts on one monitor, all showing me the swings and other stuff going on. So it's very hard to stream it because I can't fit all this on a small monitor. You wouldn't see anything. So it's quite difficult. I'm possibly going to do some because my funded account's doing really well, but it has really bad swings. So it's something I do throughout the day. So I make 50% of my money during the Globex session. So on the futures, the Globex session is before 2:30 UK time, and this is the slow session, and then it all goes crazy at the New York Open. I make steady money there. I make more money there, but I lose more as well. So to do a proper stream on it, I'd have to really be streaming from sort of 10:30, 11 when I tend to start trading, until I stop at about 4. But that's why I don't like scalping, because it takes the entire day. It's hard work, very hard work. There's this sort of stigma attached to scalping where people jump in and jump out of it in an hour and they're done. And yes, you can do that, but you've got to be lucky, which is the problem. Yeah, I don't know which streams I've got it in, Jesse. I mean, I've been scalping on using the Price Action Toolkit for weeks. I literally stopped scalping with the Price Action Toolkit before I went on holiday. I went on holiday, and since I came back from holiday, I haven't really done any scalping streams. So I've been scalping on here. And it's the same thing, but basically what I'm doing with my funded account is I'm scalping off of MT4 using futures data and just executing the trades on here, but I'm also executing the trades on that platform as well, on my futures platform. That is Jigsaw, Alan. So I'm just going I'm waffling. What haven't we covered? Euros and US. So these, I'll just cover these quickly and then we can talk about other stuff. Euro odd at the moment, it's very weird, Euro at the minute. I'm finding it quite difficult to trade at the moment. I got out of this Euro odd short yesterday at break even because I'm not sure on the Euro. It did push down and now it's pushed back up again, so I'd be roughly about break even on it again. The Euro's got a little bit of strength, but the strength is very erratic. We're getting nice pullbacks. So at the moment it's very nice to trade because we're getting good buys and then exiting. The buyers are exiting their positions. We're getting nice pullbacks, which is exactly what we want. We want to get in on extensions and get out after the profit takes have happened. The problem for me at the moment is my bias is short on the Euro and we're getting long pushes on it. So it still looks weak to me. Every time we try and get somewhere with the Euro, it gets battered and then it has a push and then it gets battered and then it has a push, battered, push, battered. It's not got that strength and that momentum for me to say, right, yeah, we're long on it. The other problem we've got is every other currency at the moment is acting weak, including the US dollar, which is giving the Euro what looks like strength, but I think is more luck at the moment. It's managing to get a little bit of ground because everything else is really weak, and I think at some point we're going to get this drop. But the other thing hanging over me at the moment is the rate increases coming next month, which will power up probably the Euro. So it's very hard to pick direction on it, because what I don't want to do is get into a short, which is what I want to do, and then get squeezed because I'm in this short and I get chopped around and get sideways, and then the rate announcement comes and screws me. So I'm finding it very difficult at the moment to trade the Euro. I wanted to short it and I was right to short it, but it's not giving me enough follow through. So at the minute, technically we're along because we're above the 24.72, but really what we're in is a really choppy, uneven range, slight channel thing. So I think you can trade this in either direction. What I would like to do is wait for it to get really extended and then short it, or potentially now long it out of the lows. At the moment it's not really doing any of that, so I'm not really interested in it. I don't want to take it long on pullbacks really. I'd much rather mean revert it, and it's just not giving the opportunities at the moment. So Euro CAD is the same thing. This one really should be a good short. This is a lovely short, and as you can see I shorted this week as well. We've made some decent money out of Euro CAD this week. Short plays, but again it's sideways, it's gone sideways. So and that's mainly due to the Canadian dollar losing some strength out of oil, and we've had some decent movement on the euro. So we're sideways on it. So everything's really difficult. My bias is still short on it, especially on euro CAD because of the CAD strength. We've got this lovely area of resistance and support in place at the moment. We're in a range, and obviously a range is great until a range breaks and then it's a trend. We don't know when the trend is going to start. Likelihood is when we get the rate announcement. Problem being, we'll probably get up to there just as the rate announcement is going to be released a week later, and I don't really want to be taking it out of the range there. So the timing's off on the euro on everything at the minute. So being a bit cautious with it, but this is a beautiful spot to short it. I've got shorts on the euro, obviously, at the moment. I've got one on there. So, yeah. But yeah, so Euro CAD, lovely short. Euro Swiss, no idea. I just can't long it. And I don't want to short it, so I'm not really interested in that one. Euro pound, gradual long, grinding long, week against a week. The euro, I think, on the rate announcement next month is going to increase, so I think we're going to get some strength on the euro, so this would be a long for me. I'd only be interested in longing it somewhere down here. So if we do get down to here, I'll be interested in longing it. If at the moment we're sideways, we've gone nowhere this week. This week has just been sideways mess. You can tell by the size of the reversal alert. Look, got a 4-day reversal alert on the hourly. 5 days. It's just you can't trade it. It's sideways. It's chop. Euro yen long. This will be a good long, I think, when the rate announcement comes out. I want to be down here when it does. Not in the right place for me at the moment. And Euro New Zealand, sideways mess. Nice short up at the highs there, but New Zealand dollar is just really not long, not short. Again, sideways. It's very difficult to trade stuff like this with any directional bias because there is none. So not interested in that. And Euro US dollar, I'm interested in shorts. I am short. So a lot of the euro is confusing at the minute. So I'm sticking with bias of things which are strong against it. So things like the Euro CAD and things I'm expecting to power up like the Euro US dollar and the Euro yen to power down. Those are the ones that I'm more interested in trading. The Swiss franc obviously came out of nowhere off the rate announcement, so we didn't have a clue what was going to go on with that one. But yeah, waiting for US dollar strength. And again, what I'm worried about with this is getting caught in a grind. And all of a sudden we're at the beginning of July and I'm like, whoops, we're going to get a rate announcement. So I'm just being cautious with these, and I'll start to do drawdown control on them if they start to get away. I've only got 2 positions on it at the moment, and I'm nowhere. If I was 1 ADR away from break even, I'd be a little bit worried about it. I'm not even anywhere near close to being in drawdown on this properly yet. So just waiting for something to move. The US pairs, US CAD, very hard to trade at the moment. We've got 2 potential longs. We've got the lovely reversal off of the highs, which again is just flagging at the moment. Going to depend on whether or not oil powers up, and it looks like it's in the spot. We looked at oil, looks like it's in the area. We should start to see some strength, should start to get some CAD strength. If that comes at the same time as US strength, which is a little bit overdue, we're kind of just going to go sideways. So again, one of these very difficult to trade from a position trading perspective, because it's kind of in a wide range and there's no real bias on it. But at the moment, it's kind of long based on what we had recently. So looking for that sort of movement. But again, it's just stuck sideways and going nowhere. US dollar Swiss we know about. Sideways mess. What do you do with that? It literally is a flip of a coin. Whenever you get these accumulations, you've got to have a bias. Your bias will normally come from fundamentals, and fundamentals on this were like that. They're now like that. So what do you do with it? Better to stay out. I don't know whether the Swiss franc is going to become more powerful than the US dollar over the next month. With what the Fed keeps saying, they're not helping their currency at all at the moment. So I think next FOMC we'll probably get a better idea on it, but yeah, this has been battered down only because of that Swiss franc strength. Otherwise, the US was catching up nicely. But I'd like to take a long down here, but you're longing against the Swiss franc, and the Swiss franc is a big question mark at the moment. So it's risky. If it was nicely extended, like it was here, then yes, I would be interested in longing it. But there's no way I was longing it after a move like that. You know, it's like catching a falling knife. If we got a little bit more of a grind down to support and got extended, I might be interested, because I think we're going to need some kind of pullback on it, like this sort of movement. Yeah. So we're here at the minute. So where we are there, we're kind of here. We could get another leg down. If we do get another leg down, I think we're going to get a pullback or a reversal. Probably more likely a pullback. But I want to see something happening, and nothing's happening at the moment that's really giving me any indication to get in. Not on this sort of time frame. Lower time frames, obviously, you can do what you like. You can make money on anything on a low time frame. Obviously, the risks is a lot higher. US dollar yen, looking for longs. I'm in the breakout. I've taken some profit off of this. I've taken a break even on it, which I'm glad I did. I've entered an additional position down there. I would be scaling in again on the way down if necessary, if we don't get any US strength and if the yen does power up a little bit. But again, we're not really going anywhere, are we? It's been one of those weeks where we just sideways. We've had some decent movement and we've benefited from that, but everything that else hasn't moved enough for us to really get too many positions on or get out of. So. Jesse, would you say you'd be able to scalp the cash version of NASDAQ on a normal FX broker like we have, so no level 2? It's harder when you start looking at market profile for futures. It's very hard not to want to use this as your main tool, and seeing this is you can't see it properly, but why can't I grab that? I've got to grab the whole thing. This is where everybody's orders are sitting in the market. This is the CME exchange. It's a centralized exchange, yeah. So you can see everybody's orders. I can see down here there's 139 contracts here. I can see that. I know it for a fact. There's 139 contracts in there. They may be spoofed. They may not be real contracts. We'll see. When we get down to there, they will either become an absorption or they won't. We won't know until we get there. They'll either get pulled and disappear like that, then they vanish. They're gone, like this one. When we got there, the guy went, nope, not interested, moved it somewhere else. When you see this and you see what's happening underneath the hood, if you like, it becomes very difficult to use a candlestick again. I don't even have a candlestick. Don't use candlesticks at all. I'm scalping. I know I should be short right now because I can see the longs getting absorbed. Yeah, I can see where the volume today has been. And I can see where I should be rolling a range or waiting for a quick scalp through thin volatility, through thin volume. Can't even say it. So what I'm doing is using this data, but hitting the buy and sell button on my MT4, because the market movement, yeah, you'll see this light up. The other thing you can't see is this screen here, which is large orders. I've actually got this set up wrong at the minute because I'm not trading, but this is 10:30. I'm looking for any contracts which are 10 or more, and I want to be told about anything that's 30 or more, i.e. highlighted. In high volatility, I use 30 contracts, 50 contracts. So this is the US Open and this is the Globex session. So this will feed through large orders. So I can set, if I set this to 1, you'll see every contract on the market being traded. Yeah, and look, Nasdaq selling off. Yeah. So when I see, and I've got 3 ladders to the right of me. This is the Nasdaq. This one over here is the Dow, and then I've got the Russell over on the right over there. You can't see, it's out of screenshot. So I'm basically looking for this. So I want to be hitting the sell button. So I know there's a load of sellers in the market. I can see sellers coming into the market. I can see large orders coming into the market. I can see there's a guy sitting here wanting to go long, big contract. If that's a real contract, when we get to here, we'll get absorbed. So he will either get run over or we'll get a bounce off of him. That will tell me what to do. So he's sitting bang in the middle of this slightly low volume area. If he gets run over and I get in short there, we'll probably get a run of 4 to 6 ticks down to there. That's $70, $80. So, you know, I can stick an order in the market. Let me just go on to a sim account. Not the best trade in the world, this, but so I stick an order in the market to run down to there. Let's go for 4. But you can see we're getting a little bit of absorption here, so we're selling into this hard, but we're not getting any further. So if we get a load of selling, this thing lights up like a Christmas tree, and on here we get a ton of sell orders coming in, but we do not move down the ladder. That tells me that everybody selling is being absorbed by large buyers. Guys like this, they're coming in and saying, nope, I'll have your sales, I'll have your sales, I'll have your sales. What happens when that happens is eventually everybody that's sold goes, damn, we're not getting anywhere. I need to get out of my position. To get out of their position, they need to become a buyer. The buyers will then spike it. So you either get here, you will get a bounce of 8 ticks or so back off of this level, or he will get steamrolled. If he gets steamrolled, he will have to puke on those 124 contracts and exit them. To exit them, he has to become a seller. He will dump 126 contracts on that side, meaning that we will spike down by 8 ticks. Yeah. When you know what's going on under the hood, you go back and look at a candlestick chart, you're like, well, how can I tell when it's going to turn? You can't, because you don't know where the volume is. You don't know where the guys are sitting. You can only see this on the CME. I did a session on Boocamp, which is similar software to this, before. But yeah, so that didn't get filled, just get out. So you see the bounce we got, yeah, on this absorption. You saw all these sellers coming in, down here, all getting absorbed. Yeah, this guy didn't manage to get filled. What he was looking for was a fill and pop. 8 ticks, quick $100, in, out, in, out, in, out, and that's what I do all day long. Yeah, just in, out, in, out, in, out. Scratching it if it's crap, but in, out for a bit. And you build it up. But it's hugely, hugely time consuming and labour intensive to do. It's a full-time job. Which is why I position trade, but equally I pulled 15 grand out of my funded account last month. So I can't deny the fact that it's profitable, but you will burn out. so and there's lots of other little tricks and traits you can do. So you can enter like large contract scalps, so looking for 4 ticks off of 5 contracts with a trailer. So I want to be short on this really, so this is not a good place to take a trade at all. This is this is equivalent to taking a trade in the middle of a range, right? Where we are now, I'm taking a trade in the middle of a volume cluster, which is not good. You want to take trades at extremes because you're either going to get that or you're going to get that. Yeah, when we hit this bit down here, can you see it? When we hit this bit down here, yeah, there's no volume here. There's no liquidity been traded here. When we break here, we're going to go until we hit the next volume cluster. Those are the types of trades you're looking for. Trading right in the middle here of this big thick bit isn't where you want to be taking trades. So it's not a good spot to be jumping in really, but to demonstrate a process. So we've got buyers coming in now. Not big contracts, not big boys, but you see buyers coming in, market wiggles up. We've got no big contracts sitting above us at the minute. Still got this guy sitting down here on 134 looking to push, big order. But this is a trail order. So basically, as we push up, I'm going to go behind it and wait for these buyers to puke their orders and become sellers and quickly take 4 pips out the market, 4 ticks out the market as a short. That's a quick $250. And I'm short bias. You can't really see it. This is the trouble, I can't get it on the screen. I'm short bias because the buyers are all getting absorbed up here, yeah, and they're like, everybody's going long is like, oh no, I can't do it, so I'm getting out. So again, it's similar to market structure. I'm looking for that to continue to the short side. But I want to see, my theory being backed up by volume coming into the market in my direction. And there's a meter here as well, which shows me what's happening since I took my entry. I haven't taken an entry yet. Yes, I have, yes, I've gone -5 there. So this is showing me what's happened since I got into the trade. Have we got more sellers than buyers? Yes, brilliant. If this ticks back up to the upside, I'm like, right, I need to start thinking about getting out of this trade because I'm wrong. Because there's more buyers stepping in. I was on the wrong side. There you go. $250. That's on the sim account. That's not a live trade. But so yeah, there's lots and lots and lots of strategies. But you need to study this, proper study this, drop everything, study this, and spend hours and hours literally just in here mucking about with a sim account before you trade a proper account with it. The platform's called Jigsaw. No, it's not free at all. It's expensive, $600. If you want, you get a lot of free education with it, and there's more advanced courses as well you can take, supplied by Jigsaw. A lot of the prop firms use it. What's my personal favourite, Boocamp or Jigsaw? A Boocamp, I don't know what Boocamp is monthly. I think Boocamap's $100 a month. Jigsaw is $600 as a one-off. This is Jigsaw I think is better. But they're very similar. They're very similar. Very similar. So I mean, they all do the same. They do the same thing in essence. But this is the thing. This is the important bit. And this over here. Yeah. So look, there's that guy. Yeah. He's been absorbed. That guy with the big contracts. He lost. So now what he's doing is puking those contracts because he was wrong. I take advantage of that. Made $100. There's simple strategies that you see using this. The reason that went so fast was because we had a guy sitting there with a whack and gate contract when everybody started to sell into it, yeah, at a volume cluster that was weaker than the rest. Now we're going to get stuck at this volume cluster. Yeah, a lot of volume's been traded here, and it's these things. So what you need to think about it is when the market's moving up and down. Yeah, we're looking inside. I don't know how long I've been talking, but look at a 15-minute candlestick. Yeah, I've just taken 2 trades and made $350 within one 15-minute candlestick. Probably within one 5-minute candlestick. You say $600. Ouch, Jesse. I've just made 350. Well, I haven't because I've got it switched onto the demo. But if you're trading futures, you're not talking about making 500 or 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. You know, you're making much bigger money. You're trading this. This is $12.50. Every time this moves from here to here, it's $12.50. If I take one contract. If I take 5 contracts, it's more, obviously. So, you know, but there's a typical absorption in the market happening. You see what we're doing now is we're riding back up inside this low volume cluster. We'll probably get stuck here. Why? Because it took a lot of sellers to get through there, and they're not out of their positions yet. They're going to add into their positions there and push it back down this volume cluster. And what you get is, the only way I can really describe it is roll, is you get the market rolling over volume clusters, up, down. These are mini ranges. They trade up to the top of the range, back down, up to the top of the range, back down, and they build the cluster out until you get this. This is the point of control for the day. You can't see it up the top. That's the point of control for the day, where the most volume today has been traded, and that will act as quite often as a support and resistance as people trade off the point of control. But here we're rolling this cluster, yeah. So you're getting short here, you get out. You're getting long, you get out. You're getting short, you get out. You're doing exactly what everyone else in the market is doing, accumulating, yeah, buys and sells, bids and offers, and then eventually it will break through one of these low volume areas and it will go and seek the next area of volume. So there's another cluster we will probably roll over for a little bit. If it breaks this low, it's going to go, I've got nowhere to go until it gets down to here, and it will probably build volume there. And then if it breaks back up above there, it'll probably go up, and then we'll get stuck back here again. So it's what happens on candlesticks on a chart you see every day, but on a micro scale. This is the actual orders executed in the market, and you can see where the big guys are. Yeah, there's a guy sitting here on 146 contracts. There's a guy sitting here with 88. There's a guy sitting there with 61. So these are going to be sticking points. So there's one or two things going to happen. If he's pulled that order now, gone. Because, why has that order been pulled? Because market's moving up. He's like, oh, well, there's no point in that. We're not going to trade there. I'm going to try and get in down here. But it's exactly the same principle as I teach in the bootcamp. Every buyer has to exit their position to take a profit, as you saw. When I exit a profit, I hit the opposite button. So I hit one of the buttons. I hit the green button to go, the blue button to go long, I hit the red button to go short. It's the same process. Yeah. If I get in with, let's do it. I'll just wait for the market to pull back a little bit. In fact, I want to go short. So I'm going to trail that up, yeah? So if I get in short here, I've hit the sell button. To exit my position, I've got to hit the buy button. If somebody with, there's no large volume at the minute. That guy is probably the biggest, 95. So if this guy with 95 contracts here hits the buy button down there, and it pushes down 4-5 ticks, whatever his pain threshold is, it pushes down beyond that, he's going to have to get out of that position. To do that, he hits the sell button. What that creates is an order as large in the opposite direction, but with sell volume. So the sellers have pushed him down, and he is now added to that selling pressure by getting out of his large contract, they call it puking, and that pushes it down faster and harder. This is where we get this lighting up, and this is what I used to scalp on MT4. But this, you know, this is just another another level, basically. See, now look, if I'm sitting here short as I am now, seeing this, do I want to be in this trade? Probably not. I would never have taken a trade here anyway, but just demonstrating a point. But that's where I'd be thinking, right, do I want to get out? Hang on a minute. We've got absorption there. So these orders, basically, big order came into the market here, big longs. We had like over 50 contracts long. We didn't really tick up. Look, we're not moving up, are we? So all these guys have stepped in, gone long. We haven't gone anywhere. Sellers have gone, nope. I like the orders. Yeah, keep selling to me. Keep selling to me. You keep hitting that buy button. I will keep selling into this market. Eventually, this guy's going to go, damn it, this isn't working. He's going to hit the sell button. He's going to join these guys, and it's just going to go boom. So it's just understanding what goes on in the market. ES, you tend to tick up somewhere about 16 ticks before you get any pullback. Yeah, so you get a push up, a pullback, a push up, a pullback. You don't get like where it flies off to the upside and it just goes and goes and goes. At the open it does, but during the Globex session you get these rolls up and down all the time. So at the moment we're rolling here from up this high to there. So we're rolling this zone. So the ultimate sell was there and the exit is down here. But this area here has got slightly light liquidity, so it's probably going to pop through that as it's just done. Now we're going to roll potentially this area back down to light liquidity. So I'm anticipating flying through this area into here and then possibly getting stuck and pushing back up again. I don't know what's going to happen, nobody does, but that's the logic. These are the really interesting areas. When you break out of here, you know when I say, if you've been watching me scalp on MT4, when I say I'm looking for a pop, that's what the pop is. Light liquidity area, and it usually accumulates at highs and lows. So in a candlestick chart, I say I don't use candlesticks, I only use this for swing levels, for swing volume basically. But on a candlestick chart, when I say I'm looking for a pop, I'm looking for a pop at this level, yeah? So next time we get down to here, and this is what I say, you know, at the opening range, when we're doing an opening range break, when we hit that opening range, I'm looking for a pop. And it's basically where it just goes, you get that whacking great candle fly out the bottom. The reason behind that candle flying out the bottom is liquidity. Yeah. we have nobody here, right, that has traded in the past. So this becomes a price discovery area. How far down here can we go before somebody says, nah, I want to buy? And that's the... So you're getting short here. When that happens, you got 16 ticks, no problem. That's one strategy. There's loads of strategies. You can position trade in the Globex session quite successfully as well. So if this pushes up into that volume area there, I would expect to see some resistance up there because we would have moved up sort of 8 to 16 ticks to get up there. So I'd be looking quite happy to put another sell order up there and anticipate once they get there hitting some volume and then rolling back down and seeing if we get stuck there. What that's going to do is bring my entry price up, same as position trading, and that gives me an exit of that position down there by moving this one up to there. Again, another strategy, more risky because obviously you're going into drawdown. But you know, when you're looking at this sort of thing, making X thousand a day, you know, $500 a drawdown, which is off the top of the chart, isn't a massive thing, and it moves really slow during Globex. It's the open of New York where you start getting hectic. This thing flies, absolutely flies, as we've seen when we've been scalping. So there's a load of buyers coming in at the minute. Is it making me feel comfortable in this position? Yes and no. A lot of buyers coming in, a lot of big orders coming in. Are we making any progress? Not really. That tells me there's a load of people selling. Got a big block. Well, we did have a big seller there. He's kind of stepped out. So he's got rid of his order. He's basically taken that away. So he doesn't want to sell there. So there's people getting out of the way up here, which means it gives it a little bit more room to move. That's where I think we're going to get stuck. But anyway, Convergent uses S5 Boocamp. I've not heard of that. Convergent. There's a few. Boocamp is the biggest. Jigsaw was the first. These guys were the first to market, and obviously whenever anything gets to market, obviously everybody copies it. So, it's a real art to understand, and there's loads of courses on it, loads of videos on it, but it's labour intensive. You need to be watching this thing like a hawk all day, and you can either scalp it like I do where I'm in and out grabbing $100, or you can swing trade it, so only get in up here with a stop up here. So assume that we're going to roll this for the session. So get in short when you see a load of absorption, put a stop somewhere, and then play the roll all the way back down, and that might take 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, and then roll it back up again. You can see what it's been doing. Since we've been on, we've got down to here, haven't we? This is where we started looking at it. Yeah. Now look where we are, all the way up there, and look at where we've been. Yeah, so we could quite easily come back down here again in half an hour. There's a lot of ticks to be made in there. Did I learn that on my own? Yeah, well, I used to trade. I started trading when I traded stocks. I traded on the DOM, so I knew all of this anyway. This is something new. This I say it's new. It's not. It's been around for 5 or 10 years, but then I haven't been stock trading for a long time. So this is newer. The sort of visual version of DOM history. But yeah. But I've just been looking into it more when I found Boocamp, when I started scalping. This all came about from the Ukraine crisis. If Russia hadn't invaded the Ukraine, I'd still be position trading solidly, and I would have been since the Ukraine thing. But when the Ukraine crisis hit, the markets went absolutely crazy and everything got a bit weird. So I went back to scalping, and that's when I started looking into what new tools were around since I last scalped, and this is where I discovered Boocamp. And then I got my funded account with my Forex funds, and I was like, well, and then I got funded with obviously Apex, and I went from there really. But I don't really want to do this because it's hard work. It seems really easy the way you just showed it. It's not easy. Look, I'm in drawdown on 2 contracts now. I mean, I'm not trading this. This is the thing. I wouldn't trade where I've traded normally. I'm just kind of showing you the theory, and the theory when the theory goes wrong. Yeah. So I was expecting us to roll over there. We didn't. I was expecting us to come up and roll over that volume. We didn't. We've rolled over the top of that volume. So now we're looking at this area as potential resistance. So you just think about it as support resistance areas with weak spots in the middle. That's not a weak spot. But that's the weak spot. And then we've got this bit here, yeah, and then a kind of weak spot there, and that is the fall out of bed. So what you're doing is you're looking for what's going on in the market. Yeah, there's a lot of buying coming in here, and we're not really making a lot of progress. Now we've got some sellers starting to enter on the Nasdaq, and the reason we use this is for, and you don't need this because you've got the ladders on over here. This is the Dow, the Nasdaq. Yeah, so I can see the Nasdaq selling off. Why can I see the Nasdaq selling off? Because it's below that line, so I know that we've been selling. We're going down. I can see the Nasdaq's going down. I don't really need this, but this just is an audio alert to say there's a hell of a lot of selling on the Nasdaq. And this does it as well, actually.
Welcome to Price Squawk. Please register now.
Price Squawk will do the same thing. This will shout at me when buy. It tells me when volume comes in. So this is a little bit like Tick Strike, but on a micro scale. She'll start shouting at me. I'll turn the volume up. When the market opens, this thing goes tonto. It goes absolutely nuts. I'll show you what it looks like at the open. There's nothing happening.
Sell, 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 bum.
So it's just telling me when we're ticking up and ticking down. So it's an audio like,
Sell,
this is like the pit.
buy,
If you're in the New York Stock Exchange in the 80s, this is what it sounds like. But it's obviously not this nice lady talking. It'd be a load of blokes screaming and swearing at each other. It's the same principle. But yeah, I don't like having that on. It's annoying. So up at point of control. So I'll try another shot up there. So you see basically now, same as position trading. If I want to get out with $100, I need a 8 to 10 tick move to the downside. And you can do this all day, in theory, in the ES. But you want to be on the right side of the trend. And at the moment, I'm on the wrong side of the trend. What I should be doing is buying. And I would be buying. I just hit the sell button because I was demonstrating a point to how things work. But swing up at the moment. We've moved down by 2,000 contracts. We've moved up by 3,800 contracts. And we've moved up from a low. So you're looking for volume movement. This is cumulative delta, which shows me that there's way more buyers in the market than there are sellers. You know, I'm doing it. This is not trading. This is just showing you obviously what happens. But got a bit of selling coming in. Do you also scalp another account that's not MT4 one? Yes. So Jigsaw act as your broker. So if you want to get funded with someone like Apex, FTMO, TopStep, anybody that uses Tradeovate or Rhythmic as a futures interface, this works with. You can set up connections with anybody. And obviously you can fund your own account with Trade of 8, and you're going to need 3 to 5k really to be able to get into any decent size. You scalp during Globex pre-New York session, but not in the UK morning. This is the UK morning. Now, we're in the Globex session. So the Globex session runs until 2:30 UK time in the UK in England, which 2:30 is the New York Open. So the Globex session, this is so slow. This is slow as you like. If I show you yesterday, so this is the New York, where are we? Yeah. So see what we're doing now, yeah? We're doing 15,000 contracts, 14,000 contracts, 13,000, 35, 8,000 contracts. This is the New York session. 457,000 contracts, 120,000 contracts, 250,000 contracts. Yeah. So when New York opens, this is New York. Yeah. This is Globex. New York 300,000, 300, 300. Globex 8, 35, 57. So what we tend to find, think of this. Really easy way to think of this is the Asian session. Yeah. So Globex is the Asian session. New York Open is London Open. Yeah, Globex is slow, very slow. In New York, this thing will fly up and down this ladder like yesterday was an absolute, like, it flew up, flew down, flew up, flew down. While Powell was talking, that thing was just going crazy. I don't like to trade the New York Open. I sit there for 15 minutes and wait because it's too volatile. I don't mind the labour intensive part. I'm in front of the screen all day anyway. Yeah, well, that's fine. So yeah, if you're in front of the screen all day, you need to put a lot of time into learning, and you need to put a lot of time into what they call drills with this. Jigsaw will teach you all of this. If you were to go and work for a prop firm or a bank, what they get you doing is nothing but watching the ladder. So your first job when you're employed by a prop firm, or what I mean employed by a prop firm, employed by a proper prop firm that has desks where you pay a desk fee and they fund you with their money. But what they do is they employ you. They'll pay you like £1,000 a month or something. And employ you to sit at a desk, and they will teach you how to trade, and they will teach you nothing but the ladder. And your job when you first get in is to get into this ladder and watch this ladder going up and down and watch order flow. And they will tell you basically to do what's called, there's lots of different things they get you to do, but just watching it and seeing what happens when it goes up and when it goes down, why it goes up, why it goes down, what happens when it gets to big orders, what happens when there's an imbalance of sells against buys, what happens when you've got way more sell orders executed than buy orders executed, yet you've got more buyers sitting there waiting. What this all tells you, you learn by just watching it. You see the same thing, it's like patterns. You see the same thing playing out over and over again. What they do is they get you to do things like what are called stop and reverse drills. So I've entered with 3 here, so if I go 4. So they'll say, right, get into the market, and what I want you to do is get out of the market when you think it's going to go up. Yeah. So I'm now 1 contract long. Yeah, and they'll say you stay in this until you think it's going to go down. I don't want a TP on it. Just get that. And they'll say, right, you stay in this until you think the market's going to turn around. And then you do what's called a stop and reverse. So you enter 2 contracts in the opposite direction. So you say, right, okay, I think we're going to turn around here. Now you're 1 short. And they'll say, you stay in that short until you think you're going to go long. And then you'll see it come down, and you'll go, or it will go up, and you'll think, actually, no, I'm wrong. I think I should be going long now. Now I'm long in the market. And they'll get you to do this. And what you're doing is you're watching subconsciously this going up and down, up and down. And they get you to do this for days and days on end. 8 hours a day, nothing but this. And you will become one with the ladder, one with the market. That's how they teach you to trade in banks and in professional prop firms. Because this is what moves the market. People executing contracts at different sizes. And what happens when those contracts are executed tells a story as to what is likely to happen next. If this thing is going crazy green, this thing's lighting up crazy blue, this thing's got whacking great balls on it, and we've made progress from here to here on all that activity, what do you think is going to happen next? The buyers aren't winning, are they? Highly likely the sellers are winning, and these buyers are going to go, yep, you're right, we should have gone the other way. They're going to get out of their positions and it's going to collapse. If you sit here for 8 hours a day watching this thing happen, you will just instinctively know that when it gets to there, you want to do this. I'm wrong. I need to get out, stop and reverse, short. And you can play this over micro timescales, or you can play swings. Do what you like with it. But it's all this is just watching and learning what is going on underneath the hood. And that's all they teach you. It's very interesting, but very, 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 very labour intensive. Like I say, it's not an easy job, but massively rewarding if you do it right. Do you have your own Ninja license? No, use Apex. I don't use Ninja anymore. But yeah, I use Apex's license for Ninja when I was using Ninja. I don't think I could go back to charts again for futures, to be honest. For Forex, you haven't got any centralized data and you don't know what's really going on underneath the scenes, and we're playing long-term swings, so I'm playing fundamentals. It's a totally different thing. Yeah, if it's selling now, it's not a problem because I'm looking at this getting up here at some point over the next X number of days or weeks. Right now, I'm short. If this is going red and going crazy, and there's a load of red orders coming in here, yeah, on a stop and reverse drill, I'm going to stay short. What can I see below me here? I can see over here. I can see an accumulation, and I can see loads of room to the downside. I can see a big order there, so we'll see what happens when we get down there. But at the moment, I'm short, so I'm going to stay short. And this is what the drill is looking for when you think it's going to turn, and eventually you'll get so good at a stop and reverse drill that you'll actually have a positive P&L. And that's the point. They say, right, here's 10k. Come back with 11. Come back with 11, we'll give you 20. Come back with 20, we'll give you 50. Come back with, and that's how it builds at a prop firm. They give the money to the people that make the money. And a bank, same thing. But the interesting thing is, the success rate in Forex is estimated at 5%. We don't know what the real numbers are, but they say that 70% of people lose money on their Forex accounts, etc. All the brokers' stats, etc., etc. In a prop firm and a bank, teaching people on the ladder, they have a 77% success rate with people becoming funded professional traders. 70% plus, yeah? So it just shows you the difference between sitting here and drilling this and flicking around looking for the holy grail, which is what retail does. Retail could sit here and drill this. I'm drilling it now. Am I getting out of this? No. I'm selling. At some point I will stop and reverse. Got some big orders coming in now. Look, load of sell orders. If this thing now starts to push up, it's telling me that these sellers are starting to puke on their orders. If this now hovers around here, it's telling me that these sellers are still in their orders and they haven't puked. So your job now is, as a stop and reverse drill participant, is when do I want to hit the reverse button? And the speed that you hit that reverse button will designate how much money you'll make as well. So if I reverse here, yeah, I'll take $112. If then it pushes up to there and I reverse, I'll make another $100. Then if it pushes down, I make another $100. If I stay in this short now, and it does that, I'm going to make 112 still. If I'd have stopped and reversed, I would have made $300 on that zigzag move. And this is where the rolling in a range comes in. Yeah, I can take a short here, let it roll, and then pop, and I'm still going to make the same amount of money. Or I can stop and reverse, out, stop and reverse, out, stop and reverse, out, and make 3 to 4 times the money on that roll. And that's where your skill comes in as a scalper, and that's what scalping is, taking ticks. Yeah, just taking 4 ticks out of the market if you want to, or 8 ticks, or whatever you want. Anyway, it's interesting stuff. If you want to learn more about it, go to Jigsaw's website. There's loads of training on it. So yeah, look, do I want to get out of this? I don't know. Up to you when you hit the button. It's a drill. What I should have done, what I was thinking I should have done back there, was stop and reverse, which was why I was talking about what I think is going to happen. I should have taken that 125, and now I'd be sitting in 150 profit up here. And I'd be looking to hit the sell button now, because I think what's going to happen is we're going to roll this maybe 5 or 6 times before we get the next move. So we've rolled it down to there, we've rolled it once up to there. If this now comes back down to here, I'll probably stop and reverse there. But again, watch this thing for 8 hours a day and you know it's going to do it, because you see it. It's that, this is why I say you need to spend thousands of hours in front of the chart, Forex trading. Even if you do it in a simulator on 10 times the speed, muscle memory gets built up by seeing the same candlestick patterns play out over and over again, seeing the same market structure appear over and over again, seeing the ladder going up and down over and over again. It's all to do with discretion and muscle memory and seeing the patterns play out. I noticed the commissions are a lot cheaper if you have your own. Yeah, commissions are cheaper, Christy. Commissions vary a lot, and commissions play a massive part. I showed you my P&L, yeah. This is an all live trade. This is demo trading. This last bit up here, obviously. But the commissions aren't included in here, so I'm paying $7 a round trip. $7 a round trip on a trade. So every trade you see me making $7.50, I'm making less. Jesse, I thought you referred to Globex. It was like a couple of hours before. No, the Globex session is, the market is open 22 hours a day, I think. So there is a rollover at night, a swap at night on it. But yeah, the Globex session is when the market opens in Asia. It's basically, the market revolves around New Zealand. New Zealand is the first exchange to open, which is why we have the FX market opens on a Sunday evening. The reason being is that's 9 o'clock in the morning in New Zealand. Yeah, 10 o'clock at night over here, 9 o'clock in the morning in New Zealand. So New Zealand opens first. New Zealand kicks off the Globex session. Then it runs through to 1:30 in the afternoon New York time, which is 2:30 UK time. That's when the New York Stock Exchange opens. That's when this thing goes totally crazy, because this is measuring the top 500 US stocks. Therefore, obviously, this thing comes to life. And this is why when London Stock Exchange is open now, the reason this thing's not moving a lot is because none of this is London stocks. They are trading it on the Globex exchange, which is the CME's 24-hour platform, if you like, which is what we're seeing executed here. And this is why I kind of like it. Loads of people say never trade the Globex, you lose a fortune during the Globex. I don't. I actually make money during Globex. Because I like slower movement. The fast stuff is a lot harder. I make more money faster in the fast movements, but it's totally uncomfortable. But if you're not uncomfortable, you're not making money, are you? If I'm not in drawdown, I'm not making money. I've got to be in drawdown to be able to make a profit. Aussie dollar yen, while I've been waffling on, is moving nicely. I'm not going break even on it yet. I'm going to let it run. It's a stop trade. I'm risking 120, so it's a 1-to-1 risk reward where it is right now. I'm going to let that run. Are desk prop firms still a thing in Europe? Yes. There's a lot of proper prop firms out there. Axia is one of them. You might have heard of Axia. Axia use Jigsaw. All the prop firms use Jigsaw. See, I should be stop and reverse. I'm not paying attention. I want to stop and reverse. Whoa. Sorry, that shouldn't have been a 5. That should have been a 1. Let me just make $100 on this and then I'll stop and reverse it. I'm not even sure we're going to get above that, to be honest. It's quite a big order came up at those highs there. You can't see the highs, can you? Sorry. These highs. I'll scratch it. Just get scratched. So that's a scratch trade basically, where you make no money. That's what we call a scratch. Get out. Not one. Not lost. But yeah, the prop firms still exist. You need a lot of money to get. I mean, they will pay you a basic salary in London. All the prop firms are in London. That you need. They don't like taking anybody that's got trading experience because you've got bad habits. And bad habits are hard to unteach. They like to take university graduates with economics degrees that are hungry to make a load of money and get into the banking system, and they can't because there's only 1 in 2,000 people applying for the banking sector get accepted. The other 1,999, if they want to get into it, if they want to become a trader, that is, will quite often just go the prop route. They'll pay you $700. Your outgoings each month is going to be 3 to 5k to live in London. So you need some money behind you, and you need to be willing to sit there for 8 to 12 weeks watching this thing go up and down, and not taking any trades apart from demo, stop and reverses, a swing trade, all the drills they put you through. It's bloody hard work. What happened to the KISS method? This is the KISS method. Doesn't get any simpler than this, does it? No indicators. Raw price data. Seeing where the levels are. Seeing where the people are positioned. Seeing what they're actually doing. There is nothing. It doesn't get any simpler than this. I'm literally trading raw price action. This is the simplest form of trading there is. I can see where every order executed today has been. I can see how many of them were executed, and I can see how many people are sitting there waiting to execute. There is nothing simpler. And I can see what's going on over here on a tick-by-tick basis and see where the big orders are coming in, and seeing whether or not I should be going long, short. I've done it again. I've got this all set up wrong for stop and reverse drills, but anyway. I'll get out. Oh no, missed it. I'll get out there. I'll take a $67 profit if we get up there. But yeah, this is as simple as it gets. Now this is the danger, obviously. Big contracts, obviously. You're going to draw down very, very fast. Which is why you don't do that when you've got when you're trading a live account, unless you know exactly what you're doing. I guess you're not using a stop loss. No, well, this is I'm just doing stop and reverse drills here. You don't use a stop loss with stop and reverse. The whole purpose of stop and reverse drills is to literally just show you, for you to just get in and out the market. Profit is irrelevant. The purpose of a stop and reverse drill is for you to get better at seeing when we're going up, when we're going down. Yeah, I'm not even doing a stop and reverse drill. I'm just demonstrating what it is. Let's change that back to 2. That's all I'm doing. I'm not. I guess you're 20,000 chart hours especially on GJ. Definitely different. Salute to you. How many ticks per candle? There are no candles. A candle is a measurement of price movement over time. I'm not measuring price movement over time. Time is irrelevant. This is my time and sales. This whole thing is time and sales sort of thing. It's not. There's no candlesticks. How many times have you been? Have you seen a whacking great hammer form? Yeah, and you've gone, oh, I'm going short there on that whacking great hammer, and then it's putting a whacking great bullish engulfing in the opposite direction. Yeah, all this is showing you is where we opened. Yeah, where we went and where we closed down there, right? It doesn't show you any more than that over a period of time. That hammer on 5 minutes on a 15-minute chart looks like a doji. I don't know what it looks. I'm making that up, but it could look like anything. On a 1 hour chart, it looks like a bullish candle. On a daily chart, it was a kind of that sort of shape, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't matter, does it? A candlestick is drawn based on where that price has been and where it's opened and closed. That's got nothing to do with where it's going next. It's an indication of a condition may have happened, i.e. it may be that there were more sellers than buyers. What it doesn't tell you is that sitting down here is Barclays Bank with 200,000 contracts ready to go long in the next 20 minutes. I can see Barclays. Am I going to sell that hammer when I know Barclays are just about to dump their entire load long? No. That's what you're looking at here. Time has got nothing to do with it. That's why my P&L is buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Because what I'm doing is I'm buying on volume and I'm selling on volume. Yeah. This I want to be a seller. This I want to be a buyer. Well, this I want to be a buyer. Because at the moment we're trading in this range. Yeah. What you'll see on a chart, let's have a look at the ES chart over the last, I don't know, this morning. Yeah. I don't know how long we've been talking, 20 minutes? Yeah. Do you want to go long or short here? It's just, you know, this. What do these actually mean? It means we're going nowhere, doesn't it? Yeah. Every time we've got up there, we've rejected it. Every time we've gone down to these sort of lows, so far we've pushed up. We've just pushed down to the lows here. Why did this candle form here? This spinning top. And what should you have done when you saw this spinning top? Should you have gone short because there was a load of wick to the upside? Should you have gone long because there's a load of wick to the downside? Very difficult decision to make. It's 50-50. At that point, which was 20 minutes ago, which was 9:35, 9:40-ish, I would have been looking for shorts. Because they tried to push up and got stomped on. You couldn't make it anywhere. Not sure if that's the right timing there, but you get the point. Candlesticks only show you a very, very, very small part of what's going on underneath the hood. Do you think it's worth it to spend time trying to learn Jigsaw from your home with the training material available might be more profitable than my sideways Forex trading. I can't answer that. You need to try it if you think it's good. It's not an there's no trial. You can jump in with both feet. It's going to cost you a minimum of $600. There's lots of videos on YouTube. If you want to go to Jigsaw's YouTube channel, go and have a look at their YouTube channel. Watch all their videos. See if you think it's for you or not. Have a look at it. That's all I can say. I trade 133 tick charts. Cool. Which prop firm are you using with Jigsaw? So with Jigsaw, you can use any prop firm. I've got an Apex account. I am secretly taking a Top Step challenge as well at the moment. As well. The reason being, you need a data feed, and the Apex data feed with Jigsaw and Rhythmic I found a little bit twitchy. So I basically just signed up with a Top Step challenge so I could get a Tradeovate account, which gives me the data feed. So I thought I might as well do a prop firm challenge as well. It's quite often actually the cheapest way to get level 2 data because it costs money. But you can use any you like. Yeah, you can use NinjaTrader. Basically, if you want to use charts use NinjaTrader. If you want to actually use raw price action and forget about the candlesticks, then you wouldn't use you'd never use NinjaTrader. You would use either Jigsaw or Boocamp or something like that. A proper ladder. NinjaTrader's ladder's awful. Doesn't give you any of this data in as much detail, and it hasn't got as many tools that are configurable as Jigsaw. It's just better. But I don't use whatever you like, whatever you feel comfortable with. It's just that 99% of the prop firms in the world use this software. Do you think you should use it if you want to trade futures like 99% of the people that make 99% of the revenue? Possibly. None of them use Jigsaw, none of them use candlesticks. But if you can make it work with candlesticks, brilliant. If not, it's one of those things. You just got to go. I'm a logical guy. I'm a programmer by heart. I've been trading for 13 years. I always use the tools and everything that I see the majority of the successful people using and doing. I follow the money. The money in futures uses tools like this. But no one's ever going to give you, and this is one thing you won't get with Jigsaw either, they won't give you a load of strategies to use, basically, because trading futures is discretionary. There is no there are strategies to try when certain conditions in the market present themselves. But there's no when this does that, do that type thing in their training. But you don't need it if you spend the time in here watching. You won't need it. NinjaTrader has got nothing on this from an under the hood perspective. It can't show you this. You can get footprint charts and stuff like that. But actually heat mapping tools are kind of another level on from it, but it's just one of those things. Yeah, unorthodox day trader, I can see, I know what you're saying, I can see it. You're doing well, fantastic. What the hell are you doing watching me then? If you've made 12k yesterday, why are you sitting here? People that make 12k a day do not haunt YouTube channels, sorry. Do they really? Come on. But yeah, if you find NinjaTrader good, candlesticks. I've traded off candlesticks all my life. Never had a problem with it. It's just when I used Boocamp for the first time, when the Ukraine crisis kicked off and I was researching tools, this opens up another level beyond candlesticks. You know, it is. Forget this stuff this morning. Yeah, this is the level it opens up. It's not a case of having a strategy. It's just knowing what the market participants are doing. Right now, yeah, all I keep seeing is everybody buying into this level. Yeah, buying into this level. Buying into this level. Buying into this level. Hard now, buying into this level. If we don't get anywhere and this thing comes down, I know we're going to get a drop. You know, it's just, you can't see this in a candlestick. You can see it in a footprint chart. You know, on things like Ninja you can see it in a footprint chart. But you can't see it in the same way as you can on a heat map. It's just a different, totally different view when you understand what this is printing from here. This is the candlestick chart. This is the real candlestick chart. This is what's going on underneath the footprint, underneath the candlestick chart. This is actual orders in the market. Yeah, you got your candlestick chart. If anybody familiar with footprint charts, you got your candlestick chart that's like that. And then inside that candlestick, you've got a footprint chart which tells you how much is traded at each level. Yeah, but this only tells you part of the story. This tells you, a footprint chart, what orders were executed at that level. I've got a footprint chart, it's there. Look, this is a footprint. This is the footprint. This is what's actually been transacted at these price levels, which has made up this volume profile. This is intent to trade. This is actually traded, which prints this. What this doesn't tell you is what happened at these levels in the past. Were there big orders there that were pulled? Is there spoofing going on? Was there absorption at those levels? You can get a certain amount of it there, but this just gives you that level of extra detail. And when you look at it, it's, you know, it's just, it all starts to make way more sense. And if you want to use it for like I am, I'm trading my MFF account using this as well, because I'm spotting areas to get in on here. You can take trades on any platform. You know, this is a charting platform. It also plugs in, but you can use it just for analysis. So, how much money you need to trade futures? What size? So it depends what you're trading with the futures. If you're to trade one contract on the ES, you need $550. It actually depends on your broker. Your broker sets the margins, but one contract on futures is $550. But you can see how fast this moves up and down. I've got 3 contracts on at the minute. I'm just titting about, obviously, so I'll just go flat on this. So if I just take one contract short here, yeah, you can see the P&L. If you've got $500 in your account and you go one contract short and you're wrong by 8 ticks, let's put a stop loss on. So we'll go with a 4 tick stop, 8 tick TP. Yeah, this is the minimum. The minimum you can do is one contract. Yeah, so if I go short one contract now, if we get filled, let's just get in. Let's just tick down, get in one. I cancel that one off. So you can see I'm going to lose $50 if it goes 4 ticks against me. That's 10% of your. If you put $500 into an account, yeah, that's 10% of your account gone. So how much money do you think you need to trade futures? Realistically, I would say you need to start with 5 plus, because you're going to get bad days. You're going to get losing days. You're going to get awesome days, but you're going to get losing days as well. So, you know, this, no idea, I just hit the short button, I'm not trading, but this has gone up now to lose $50. It's going to go down to win $100. So depending on what you want to make a day, you will stop at a certain point, but the fact is, you cannot trade less than $12.50 a point a tick. Unless you trade the minis, in which case you're only trading a couple of dollars a tick. So if you've got a small amount of money, you would trade the micros. But this is why everybody using, me included, most people use a prop firm. Really, because they'll give you 150k and you'll still get limits. You know, you can't lose more than a few thousand a day, but you can get funded with a decent amount of money, which means you've got more breathing room. So you know, it's trading 4 ticks. I mean, 4 ticks is too tight, really. A typical roll on this, I mean, if you look from there, 28.75 down to there, so let's say we rolled that for a bit. That's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 30 odd ticks. So there's about a 30 tick range sitting there around the point of control today. So a 4 tick stop is obviously too tight. 8 to 16 tick stop is more realistic. But an 8 tick stop is $100, a 16 tick stop is $200. So your risk is $200 a trade. So if you had a $20,000 account, you're risking 1% a trade, aren't you? Which is why you need more money for it. And you obviously got to have that margin. You can't hold it overnight either, because the margins go up so much overnight, it doesn't come practical. But so that's why people go to prop firms. So Top Step, I mean, Top Step are fantastic for futures. They've got fairly tight rules. I mean, it's $3,000 a day is the limit. I mean, look at this. I mean, I've been mucking about in the demo here. Yeah. I've got 700 P&L open, and I've made mainly losses. You know, it's really easy to lose money if you don't know what you're doing with it. Where's my open P&L moving? I've got no open positions. Don't know. My kid's yo age go play child hater. I'm a numbers person. I'm digging it. Okay. Whatever you say. Yeah, 5k seems a minimum. Yeah, 5k basically. But as I say, go prop firm route. Top Step as well will give you a trial. So the cost involved in getting into futures trading is the software. This is what's going to cost you the money. Whether you go Boocamp, whether you go Jigsaw, there's lots of other software out you can get for free. Obviously, NinjaTrader you can get for free. NinjaTrader is just a charting platform with a very limited DOM. If you want the proper version of the DOM in NinjaTrader with level 2 data, you've got to pay for that. So what you get free with the prop firms in Trader8, for example, gives you a very limited DOM. Trader8 comes with Top Step. Ninja you can get for free with everything. They just give it away for free. It's like MT4, you get it free with your broker all the time, but it only is the basic version. Any more complex than that, you either have to buy footprint indicators, or you have to get a decent bit of software. So you know, so it's just one of those things. you just got to jump in with both feet if you want to try it. But it's totally different. You know, it's like chalk and cheese to Forex. The totally different market. This is everybody that trades futures in banks, prop firms, and retail that trade their own futures money. They are scalpers or they are intraday swingers. So they are trading short term. They're either scalping 4 to 8 ticks, or they're intraday swinging for 16, 20 ticks. You're looking to play. You know, this sort of movement, intraday swinging. Yeah, that's a decent intraday swing. Or you're looking like I prefer to trade, which is scalping in and out super fast for small movements and rotations and building a bank that way. So, you know, I'm banking 100, taking 10, 15, 20 trades a session. Intraday swingers will wait and they'll be entering here now with a short. And they'll be looking somewhere up above volume with a stop, and they will be looking to get out on a swing down here type of thing. So they'll be looking for a rotation on this volume. Those are the two main types of intraday trading. Unorthodox Ninja Trader ain't free. Yeah, it is 100% free. Ninja's free. You basically get it with a broker. So if you get, I'm not talking about. Yeah, I mean it's not free. If you just want to get Ninja Trader, yes, you can get a demo of it. But you can't do anything with it really. It's free. If you're going to become a futures trader, Ninja Trader costs nothing because every prop firm and every broker give Ninja Trader away as part of the deal. So it's a free piece of software, like MT4. When you sign up with a broker for CFDs or for spread, you get MT4 or MT5 given to you, don't you? Any futures account you sign up with, you will get given Ninja Trader or Tradeovate. You'll get given it because Ninja Trader and Tradeovate license to the brokers. But if you just want to muck about with it, yeah, you need to get a trial. But you'll never pay for it if you're basically going to do it properly. But if you want to muck about futures, as I say, I think the best thing you can do is go to Top Step and do their 14-day challenge, basically, and play with it. Really, you'll get Tradeovate. Tradeovate's a really good bit of kit. Get lots of good indicators for free on it. But I say they're all indicator based rather than DOM based and heat map based, so it's a different thing. But as I say, all the pros use this rather than charts. So most of them. Anyway, that was a big diversification, wasn't it? Went off down the rabbit hole of futures. So let's just have a look at where we are with FX at the moment. So New Zealand dollar CAD, I'm in now. Whoops, low selling coming through in a minute. So we've got a reversal on New Zealand dollar CAD on M15. So I've got that short entry. So we're looking for continuation to the downside. Aussie New Zealand's not gone anywhere yet. We're still coming down to double bottom. Just get rid of that level. Don't know what that one is on there. So see if we get the bounce off the 72 support. If not, looking to come down to roughly ADR on that one today. Euro US dollar's not going anywhere. Still got no US dollar strength by the looks of things. Shorts until we get some strength. We're just sideways. Still sideways on everything. Aussie dollar yen is my saving grace today. So Aussie dollar yen that long. If we can get some, what's the other Aussies I've got on? Aussie, New Zealand, and pound odd. What's pound odd up to? So pound, the moment is looking a little bullish, not massively. No, it's not. It's just Aussie dollar again. Not a lot really going on. So basically this Aussie yen trade that I've got on at the moment, I'll use the profit of that to start maybe doing a little DD control later. So we've got a weak yen at the moment, so everything is pushing against the yen, so hopefully that yen move is now starting to play out. So I'm going to hold that one. Aussie dollar yen is the one making the least progress. I've picked the wrong pair basically, because obviously we've got a weak Aussie. So if we can get some decent progress made on this, I'll start, because we're on Friday, I'll probably start scaling out a little bit of this pound odd. That's all really, so see how we get on with that one today, but need some movement. It's all a bit flat. Jesse, yeah, super interesting. Thanks for getting sidetracked for a bit. I always do that, don't I? I'm always off on a tangent. But hey, that's how we learn stuff. But yeah, have a play. Go and have a play if you like the look of it. All I would say is there's a lot of money to be made. It looks like there's a lot of money to be made. There's also a lot of money to be lost. I've had, $1,500, $3,000 losing days as well. You'll get good days, you'll get bad days. Some days the market will just kick you in the teeth, but that happens on absolutely everything, doesn't it? So there's a good stop and reverse drill. So I've just taken profit on that of however much that was, 137 was it? So now looking to go up, and then when we get up into this area, I'll see what the volume looks like, see what the sales look like, see if there's any big orders popping in, see if we get any decent movement off of the other indices to give me a clue as to we might see a sell rally start. But at the moment we're very, very sideways, so trying to jump in and jump out. But say these are drills, these are just to give you an indication of, get you used to this, watching this thing going up and down. One of the key things I found with drills when I was doing them was spotting one tick moves, so hammering a price. So where we are here, if we buy up into 75s and come back down, and then buy up into 75s and come back down, and buy up into 75s and come back down, buy up into 75s like that, and you then get big orders appear, and we buy up and we come back down again, that's a real obvious sign of absorption. Big orders coming in, big buy orders coming in, we're not moving up. So that is where you would, in a stop and reverse drill, go, right, okay, doesn't look like we're going to go any higher, I'm going to stop and reverse. And that you just get you see these tiny little intricacies of the market playing out over and over again, and you'll suddenly come across, you'll be watching here and you'll suddenly see, well, hang on a minute, there's way more sell orders than buy orders there. I wonder what will happen when we get down there, and you'll see what happens when we get down there over and over and over again. And then you'll go, right, okay, well next time I see that we get up to a big imbalance with buyers and sellers, I will be expecting something to happen. So maybe I'll try a tight 4-tick, 8-tick scalp. That's what these are for. They're to make you sit and watch this thing. That's what they do it for. It's painful, but necessary. It's a different way of learning, you know, because there's no strategy. It's totally discretionary. When you hit the buy and the sell button, you're trying to get little bits and bobs out of the market to make up a pot. It's totally different to taking a reversal at a swing low. You can still do all of that, but next time you take a reversal at a swing high, you want to make sure there's a reason for taking a reversal at that swing high. Yeah, and this is what these clues tell you. And you spot it after a while. It just comes ingrained in your brain, basically. Anywho, so that's it for today. I will let you all go. I've been on way too long today. It's 10:30. I need to do some trading in a minute. So holding US dollar yen, Aussie dollar yen long rather. Everything else at the moment is in DD sideways, waiting for some kind of price action to kick in. So I'll watch these. I'll post in the Telegram group any changes I'm going to make. But at the moment, I think Aussie dollar yen is going to be the saving grace today by the looks of things. Hopefully we'll get some strength coming through in the US dollar yen. I've got one coming into profit on that. We're only 0.25% in DD on the US yen as well. So if we can get the Aussie yen pushing, we should get US yen pushing as well. So I will probably look maybe to take most of the yen off, and then I'm in two minds as to whether to do any DD control on this yet. I mean, we're not even anywhere near where I would normally start to do drawdown control, but I'm just trying to keep it a little bit tight at the minute, just because we've got so much volatility with rates and stuff. So I might start to do some DD control on that. Just take a percentage of that off, but I will see. I'll see what happens when we get there. Obviously this one's got to play out first, but looking good so far if you took that one. Okay, have a good weekend everyone. I'll be back Monday morning as usual, same time. I'll post in the Telegram group any changes that I make. If you've got any questions about Jigsaw, just fire away in the Telegram group and I'll answer as much as I can. I've only been using this for a few weeks, but I used Boocamp quite a bit before that, and obviously I used the DOM and the ladder loads. So, if you've got any questions, I can help, and I'll be back Monday, and I'll see if I'll record a session. Maybe I'll record a session of me just trading. I'll have to figure out how to record the whole screen, and then I can post that, because that'll be helpful. But there's loads of that on YouTube, loads of it. So go and have a look. There's loads of live trading on Jigsaw as well. Jigsaw got loads of live trading, and there's another guy out there, I can't remember his name, Tom, I think his name is Tom S or something, who actually trades with Boocamp, but it's the same thing. It's a ladder and it's a heat map. So they do live trading sessions every day. But I find them very mechanical and doesn't tend to work. They get stopped out a lot. Still make money though. Okay, so have a good one. I'll be back this afternoon. Tomorrow morning. No, I won't be back Monday morning. Have a good weekend. If you've got any questions, come in the Telegram group. I'll let you know what I'm doing with the portfolio over today, based on what happens obviously today. And be aware of news. We've got none really today. But we have got low talking later, and we have got the University of Michigan, which is half an hour after New York opens. Sometimes we do get a kick off of it, but not usually. This is basically just how we're feeling about the economy. It's pretty obvious a lot of the time what's going to happen anyway. So, and that's really factored in. It's something the Fed uses as a leading indicator, but doesn't tend to actually do much to price. So, all right, so have a good one, guys. I will be back Monday. See you then.